one thing I don't like is a baby on an airplane. I mean, seriously, on my flight here, there was a baby on board that I wanted to murder. Never got the chance, though, because it was sleeping quietly the entire time on the opposite side of the plane.
And I'm actually quite a good choice to go on Dancing with the Stars because I am not a star, and that's who they get. Generally speaking, all of these shows, that's generally speaking who they get. And every time it happens, every time these celebrity, apprentice celebrity, anything comes out, everyone goes, oh, are they the best celebrities they could get? Really? Are they the best celebrities they could get? Yes. They're the best. The Hemsworths are busy, okay? They're not turning down Hugh Jackman. It's weird. What if we've all been pronouncing it wrong this whole time? I'm just going to keep it. They're not turning down Hugh Jackman because they'd rather have some douchebag from Married at First Sight. No, these are the best people who agreed to do this, right? And I'm into it. I want to see the better. I want to see people doing it. That's why I did it. It's funny. I can't dance. Watch me do that. It's funny. Like, I don't want to see super famous, talented people be good at something. No, I want to see people try something hard and struggle.
Didn't realize just how culturally Italian I was, being from Staten Island, until I moved to California and I met actual white people. From places like Utah and whatever the Wyoming is. It was the first time in my life I saw a group of people and I was like, am I white?
I want to see a Casablanca that's made today. Whoever plays the part of Rick is there up all night, drowning their sorrows, and he's like, of all the safe spaces in all the world, she or they had to wander into my nonprofit. That's right, it's a CBD cigarette. I'll have as much of it as I want and it won't hurt my lungs. Give me another White Claw. I can drink White Claws all night. Play it again, Shazam. You played it for her or them, you can play it for me, Shazam. Thank you.
I like the Zodiacs, but I think some of them, they sound quite offensive in the Western context. Like, I remember when my dad was introducing, like, our family to other people, and he'd tell other people our Zodiacs, it sounds so rude. He'd be like, my wife's a pig. My daughter's a dog, and my son's a rat, you know? Anyway, they're all born in the year of the horse, so... It was meant to be a good year, the year of the tiger. It was meant to be a hot one. It was not off to a good start for me. Off to a terrible start, actually. First day of the year of the tiger, I walked back into my house and I caught my housemate washing her dog with my shampoo. I couldn't believe it. It was this relaxing chamomile stuff. It was good stuff. It was expensive. Like, it's the best one at the 7-Eleven, and on the side of the label it was like vegan, organic, no animal testing. I had to call them up. I'm like, it's been tested. He really likes it, you know. He used so much of the shampoo, this guy, you know. I don't know if you know this, but dogs, they got a lot of hair. If you don't believe me, think about this. They got bodies. They don't use body wash. It's all shampoo, you know? You'd be wasting your time making a body wash for dogs. They only service this section. You know how they got that shaved bit? Some of you don't know about dog anatomy, but
I'm a 6'1" woman. Just people looking at me now like, she's gorgeous. Do you reckon she's got a broad back and speaks fluent German? Jawohl. Beautiful, right? 6'1", that means I'm a supermodel. Yes! Think a broad back's a on this bad boy. If only you'd let me!
No, I'm quite afraid of drugs. I'm quite terrified of them, you know. I'm afraid of a regular mushroom. A portobello freaks me out. Too fleshy. To give you an idea of how afraid of drugs I am, recently I had 2 antihistamines. And I looked at the packet, it said, take 1 a day. I was like, oh my God, I've OD'd. Is this how Amy Winehouse went out? I'm watching Euphoria like, I relate.
I think a lot of it is society's fault. By the way, can I recommend the next time you're worried about a personal flaw, just blame society. It feels good, because not only do you get to seem like clever and insightful, you also just get away with whatever's wrong with you. I think you'll find it's society's fault my house smells like this. Good day.
I am an old dad. I'm 47, and but I don't care. You know, doesn't make a difference to me. I'm sure. I'm sure in Tennessee, I'm a grandpa for sure. You know, that's fine. That's fine. I take my baby out. They're like, "Oh, how old is your son that had that kid? That's your daughter. That's your Jesus." You know. But I don't care, especially because I live in Los Angeles, where I am not an old dad. I've been in the park next to a dude watching what I think is his great-great-great-grandchild. Dude's like 80 on his 7th marriage to a 24-year-old, and he's like, she demanded we make one of our own. I can't chase it. I'll give you $500. My back. But I spent a year with her, just me and her, taking care of her. When all the comedy clubs were closed, I had Rose and just took care of her. So when it was time to take her to daycare, you know, we decided after a year she goes to daycare, I was a wreck. Like I was driving her over there with my wife, and I was like, "Well, this is the day, Rose. You get to meet some friends, and it's gonna be great." My wife was like, "Are you okay? Oh, like, no, are you all right? Are you gonna have a breakdown right now in front of our baby?" Like, nope, not till we leave. And we go, and I was so dramatic, I handed her off like one of those movies where there's like a soldier going to war. She'll have a better life with you. And this tiny Latina's like, okay, bye-bye, just goes through the door. Like nothing, just took her away, and the door is shut, and we're like, oh. Ah!
Thomas, we had Thomas the Train. Hang on. Did you ever notice that the only compliment the narrator ever gives those little trains is that they're useful? It's like, Thomas was a very useful engine. Polly was a very useful engine. I'm like, what happens to them if they stop becoming useful as workers? I thought, I'm getting very communist vibes from this show. Don't get me wrong, I still let my kids watch it. They'd start screaming, hitting each other with the naked Barbies. I'd be like, children, let us check in with Comrade Thomas today.
Been reading a lot of children's books. I don't know the last time you've read the Curious George books. Very disturbing. Let me remind you, right? So there's a man in a yellow hat, right? And he steals this monkey from Africa. Where in Africa? Oh, just Africa. You know, Africa City, Africa, all right? And steals this monkey, brings it back to America. To put in a zoo or a sanctuary? No, to live with in his apartment. Where the monkey goes on a bunch of adventures / attempts to escape his captor. And this man has the audacity to call this monkey curious. Yes, I would have some questions as well. Who are you? Where am I? Why do I understand English for no reason? And you knew something was wrong with this guy because his name was the man in the yellow hat. That is not a real name. That is the description of a suspect. Police interviewing Curious George's mother. Can you describe the man that kidnapped your son? All I remember was that he was a man wearing a yellow hat. Well, you didn't specify his race, so we know he's white. And a yellow hat. Well, no way he's gonna wear the exact same thing for every book of this series. But the thing is, it wasn't just a yellow hat, man. It was yellow pants, yellow shirt, yellow tie, pointy yellow hat. You see what I'm saying? This sick was dressed like a banana. He was kidnapping monkeys while dressed like a banana. He was the John Wayne Gacy of monkey trafficking. Number 1 threat to monkeys, man in the yellow hat. Number 2 threat, of course, monkeys jumping on the bed. His one fell down and he broke his head. And apparently none of the other monkeys learned that lesson. And they kept jumping on the bed, and the corpses of monkeys went all the way to the ceiling, and it was absolutely horrific. Man, I need more adult friends, man. Shit.
Elevators, right? Little boxes of awkwardness. We travel up and down with strangers. My playground. If I'm on the inside, I stand right up against the closed doors. And when they open, I go, yay, you made it. We're going to be best friends. We're going to be best friends. Where you going? They're taking the stairs. Flip it and reverse it, right? Miss Celia, that You're about to get on the elevator, be wrapping up a fake phone call, okay? You get on, you're like, hey, yeah, no, I'm getting on the elevator, so I might lose you, but don't worry. When I get home, it's freaky deaky time. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, okay. All right. Bye, Mom. 12th floor, please. 12, thank you.
I long for the days of right before smartphones. I feel like that was the peak fun cell phone era, right? 2006, 2007. They were trying to get smart. There were all these weird new phones that came out all the time. They had like a keyboard that slid out of the side. They were all made of plastic. They had little doors in them. A lot of them had an antenna you could pull up for some reason. Like, time for a big call. Why? Just make it work all the time. Did that ever save a call? Was it like, I'm losing you, hold on. Oh, nope, got you back, yeah. No, I had an extra 2.5 inches of antenna in the chamber. Crystal clear now. But then the iPhone hit, 2008, right? Changed everything. They brought it, they were like, look at this. They came to the mall, they had little kiosks. They're like, this is the phone of the future. It's made out of glass. You know that stuff that breaks? Yeah, we made the whole phone out of that. So anyway you drop it, smash. Can you make it not break? No, but when you buy it, we will also sell you a little suit of armor for it that makes it too big to fit in any pants. But the big piece of tech that they were so excited about was like, this is what makes it the greatest phone. Is you can hold it like this, and it's a phone. You can turn it sideways, and you can watch a video. And it knows when you turn it, and it turns on its own. And we were all like, wow. Flash forward to today, anytime my phone turns, I am furious. I'm like, why is it turning? Stop turning. I'm in bed. You should know I'm in bed. You know everything about me, phone. The first thing they had to do on the next iPhone they released was make it so you could turn off turning. They're like, we're sorry about all the turning. You can turn turning off now. Turning's turned off, there's a thing, you slide down, no turning. Turning's off, but then you have to remember turning's turned off, because sometimes you try to turn it, you're like, hang on, I turned turning on. Then you gotta slide it down, turning on, and then turn it till it knows it's turned. You'd think there'd just be a button to turn it, but no, that's not how it works. You open up the turning, then turn it till it's aware that it's turned, then you tilt it too far back and it goes upside down, you're like, hold. And that's it. They haven't improved it since then. There's been not a lot of new tech coming, no slide-out keyboards, no antennae. They moved the headphone jack around a little bit. We had to live through that saga. They were like, it's on the top, it's on the bottom, it's back on top. Then we went, we don't really care where it is. And they went, well, then you don't get it anymore. We took it away. Everything comes out of one hole in the bottom now, like a bird.
I will say this, politically speaking, I will say this. I think that the last 8 years in this country has really ruined the president's been kidnapped genre of action movie. I will say that it has deflated my enthusiasm. Man, that was a fun movie 10 years ago. That was fun. Oh, you'd go right to the cinema on Friday. The president's been kidnapped. Oh no, who's gonna save him? Channing Tatum? I hope his shirt doesn't come off. We were excited for those. You can't make that movie now. That movie does not have the steam it once held. The president's been kidnapped. Well, yeah, I mean, it's not good out there. People aren't happy, man. Inflation's out of control. Well, what are the kidnappers asking for? Healthcare? Yeah. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'll watch it, but I'm not rooting for who you want me to root for. Oh, they saved him? Okay, that's cool. Why are my premiums still through the roof? I'm not going to the sequel, I'll tell you that. I like all those action movies. I like the president's been kidnapped movies. I like all the action movies are my escape. The world's filled with drama and turmoil and heartbreak. I don't need to go to the movies for that. I can just look outside and be like, ow, it's bad. And so I like action movies because of the escapism. The dumber, the better. That's how it's plot holes, explosions that don't make sense. Give it to me. Why are you in space? Nobody asked. All right, fine. My favorite action movies of the current day and age that we're in are the Fast and the Furious movies. Those are my favorite ones. Arguably, oh, sure. But even cheering, we know they're the dumbest ones out there. They're dumb, they know they're dumb, and we know they're dumb. And we're still like, give them to me. How dumb are the last one was called Fast X for Fast 10. There's 12 of them. They're like, it's Fast 10. Like, aren't there 12? Like, shut up, dummy. I'm like, yeah, okay, fine, it's fine. They're the guys that die in one just show back up. They don't even say why. They're just like, hey. They're like, oh, I thought you. Yeah. Like, and then they're formulaic. They're elaborate, but they're truly formulaic. Like, right, I'm going to describe one of the Fast and Furii to you right now, and pretty sure that's how you pluralize it. So, and if you don't know the franchise, you will not know if I'm just making this up, just pulling it out of my. You will have no. And if you do know the franchise, you still will not be sure, because they just blend into one long Camaro explosion. But say we'll choose anyone from like in the middle. So let's say like 3 to 8. Let's say anywhere in there. You never know what it's going to be. They've already done their first heist. They've established themselves. They've got their millions. You know, this rapscallion crew of Honda Civic jockeys. They've made a few bucks and now they're in different parts of the world, just enjoying their life. We really did it. Nothing can go wrong now. And that's when just a representative from the U.S. government comes in like, we need this crack team of DVD player thieves. When that was relevant, we're the USA, strongest military in the world. Never mind about the Navy SEALs, but we're the strongest military in the world. That's part of the training now. We let puppies lick their toes, and if they crack, they're out. But right now, outside of the best, strongest, big military in the world, none of them know how to drive manual. So we really need you guys. We need you, bunch of Corona-sipping degenerates, to help us out. What had happened? It's just a group of international terrorists. It's international now. They can't be from a country because that's problematic. But it's still terrorism, but it's very diverse. Who are these terrorists? I don't know. That guy's Cuban. I think he's gay. Whatever. They're all over the place. They're all over the place now. They've stolen the nuclear codes. It's always the codes. It's never the bots, the codes. Apparently somebody's just writing them down in a notebook and just leaving them in a backpack at Starbucks. They always get the codes. It's just somebody like, all right, I got my keys, I got my wallet, chapstick. Oh, my gin sport full of nuclear codes. I can't believe I left it on the bus. So, the terrorists have stolen nuclear codes. They've hidden them in a Lamborghini. That's right, hide something. They've hidden them in a Lamborghini. Tastefully colored? No, it's orange. Bright orange. Bright orange Lamborghini. And they've stashed it on top of the bad guy's skyscraper. That's where I'd put it. You can't put it in the garage. It'll get scratched. So, there's a bright orange Lamborghini full of nuclear codes on top of a heavily protected skyscraper in a country that we will not name because this movie needs to make money everywhere. So, what did I tell you? You know, you gotta feel. So that's on you guys now to help us, because our military can't do it. And they're like, all right, assemble. All right, who? Well, let's first. Who do we have in our team that might have like a connection? A guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who might have like just a special Lamborghini lifting helicopter. And then just out of the shadows comes former hip hop star Ludacris. Oh, sure. Of course. Can you imagine it being someone else other than Ludacris? I am convinced Ludacris does not know he's in these movies. I think Ludacris, he shows up wearing the clothes he was gonna wear anyway. And they just convince him to say a few key phrases. What? Lamborghini living in a helicopter. Got it, that's it. And they call him Ludacris half the time, I'm pretty sure. I don't know his character names like Dave or Lugnut, I don't know. But they're like, all right, so Luda. Oh, should we cut? Because I called them like, nope, we already blew the budget on special effects. Just keep going. But somehow they get Ludacris to say, yeah, I got a guy. And they're like, all right, cool. And so that's it. We're like only 20 minutes in the movie, short and sweet. They cracked the case, you know? So special Lamborghini lifting helicopters coming over the horizon, you know, just approaching. And it's a unique looking helicopter. And bad guy skyscraper's over here, but it's a skyscraper. They got a vantage point with elevation. They're like, that looks like a particular kind of helicopter. Maybe one specifically designed for picking up Lamborghinis full of nuclear codes. And then the bad guys are like, well, should we double check? Like, where are the bad guys? And they just shoot it down. They just shoot it down right there. And you're 25 minutes into the movie, like, well, oh no, what are we gonna do? That was the plan. And so now we gotta go back to the clubhouse where everybody's hanging out. And we're like, all right, well, that plan, that was our one shot. So now we got to go the real unorthodox, maybe something like with math and science and engineering. Do we have somebody in our group with like that kind of brain, that analytical thinking that could like figure out some way with engineering to get the car out there? Oh, yeah, former model Tyrese, of course. Of course, when I think of engineering mastermind, I think of Tyrese. Tyrese, I believe, is reading the script just below the camera at all times. Oh, what's up? You all need help getting a lamb giant? That says lamb gina, man. That's how it's spelled. Oh. Y'all need to get a Lamborghini off a building. And then they just cut to a whiteboard with a lot of shapes and numbers on it. And he just goes, there. You know, like that's They just had some intern run in, just make geometric shapes and put some math on there. And that's when Tyree's like, well, if you drive it fast enough off the edge of the building and you could just fly it away on account of a Lamborghini has the doors that do this. It's got doors like this. So if you get enough speed, it could actually travel non-traditionally. That sounds like Back to the Future. Shut up, man. And so if you got enough speed, all right, so that's the plan. We'll fly the Lamborghini. To where? Okay, well, I guess we could just like get a short-term lease on a good guy skyscraper across the street. We'll just roll in with some cash, talk to the landlord. According to Tyrese's calculations, we really only need floors 8 through 13. We really only need those. Given the trajectory of his math, that's where the Lamborghini should crash into. So we'll get a short-term lease there. Absolutely, short-term lease. All right, but now we have to execute this plan. Who do we have amongst our crew that is brave enough, that is strong enough, that is bald and dumb enough to... We all know who it is. My man Vincent Diesel. That's who's coming in there. Vincent Diesel. My man Dominic Toretto. I just go by Vincent these days. He hears him talking about, he scoots out from underneath some hot rod that's blowing up in every movie. Every movie, that car just explodes at the end, and the next one starts with him like, Apparently all you need is like a 5/8 wrench to be like, back in action. He scoots out with a totally clean tank top and just stands up like, I'll do it. He's only got 5 lines. And he rolls in there. He gets to bad guy skyscraper. He just starts at the bottom, just indiscriminately just kills, shoots this guy. Gets to 1 floor, like, we're just a call center. What's happening? No witnesses. Shoots him. Gets him to what? We're just United Airlines customer service. What's going on? Double tap. I gotta fly them tomorrow. He just kills everybody in the skyscraper and gets up to the roof where the Lamborghini full of nuclear codes. He gets in. There's always a minute where he's just like is horny for the car. Where he's like, you know. Why? He fires it up, backs up, shoots it towards the edge of the building. Boom, it goes. He pops the doors. That's it. They're the wings. It's flying. Of course it's flying. We've all agreed that this is real. I'm on my 3rd bag of popcorn just going, of course it worked. Tyrese knows math. I'm absolutely with him on this, 100%. But then there's one terrorist he didn't get yet. There's one guy, and he's just barely hanging on, but he's dedicated to being a terrorist. And he's like, he pulls his AK-47 over by him, and he says something hack, because they didn't pay the writers well enough. So this guy's just like, not on my watch, or some like something dumb. And he's got 1 bullet left, and he fires it off. But it doesn't hit Vincent, and it doesn't hit like the undercarriage. It just hits the window in the door, which that's where the lift exists for the Lamborghini to fly. Oh no, this whole plan unravels. Now Lamborghini's spiraling, and Vincent's like, what are we gonna do? And it's spiraling, it's not gonna go to the designated floors that they gotta rent on. It just smashes into the side, a good guy skyscraper. And Vincent thinks quick, he flips outside, he grabs a seatbelt, he's dangling off the side of the building. He's holding on like an office chair that's hooked on an I-beam that's hanging out of under construction office, and he's holding on to the Lamborghini by the seatbelt, just like, you gotta do this. And crucifix is just dangling, shining in the sunlight. And he looks at that, and that's when he's like, oh yeah, family! And he just, which is such, that's weird that's what that reminds him of, because the guy in that crucifix, his dad killed him. That's a weird thing to go with. But that's where he gets his strength, family, and he flings the Lamborghini over his head. into the office up there, and he drags himself up, and he's just got glass coming out of his bald head, and he's bleeding. He drags himself in there, and the rest of the crew, they all rush up to make sure he's okay, and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe that was so close. And the main, like the starlet, his wife, I don't even know, she shows up for the first 5 minutes in the movie and disappears, but then she's there at the end, like she was part of this crew the whole time, and she's like, oh, I can't believe, I'm so glad you're safe. Don't you do that ever again. But then she's like, but also the way you saved the world has got me all, every time you just assert yourself this way, and he's just laying there bleeding like, all right. And that's the part of the movie where I'm like, okay, I was with you the whole time. I was with you from Ludacris just being called Ludacris, from Tyrese knowing science. I was on board with everything. Flying Lamborghini, instantly, of course. But there's no way he's up for this. And that, not then, no. I just want one action movie where that's the moment where it really hits the realism, where it's just like everything happened, there's explosions, death, blood, and I just want the main guy to just be like, what, are you around? Did you not see what I just... Can I get like 20 minutes? Jesus Christ. I see... This is what horned you up? What's wrong? I just killed all those guys. And that, not to mention, I ran up the whole building, but those guys had families. I'm sad about that. You don't really... And also, I've been at my target heart rate all day with this plan. I think this is rebar that went through a kidney. My blood pressure's plummeting, but... I mean, if you need it, we can give it a shot, but it won't be good. I hope you're into people watching, because we're gonna have to do it in the ambulance, because I am fighting off the tunnel vision right now of a blackout, and I need fluids, not sexy fluids, vital fluids. We can try, but I'd love 6 to 8 weeks for a full recovery, just to be honest with you there.
Could have been dumb, dude. There's so much dumb out there, man. We're in a new pandemic right now. It's a stupidity pandemic, okay? There's a whole lot of dumb out there, all right? It's real easy to be dumb. That's why. You ever tried it? It's fun. It's kind of fun. You're right about everything. It doesn't matter. Someone disagrees with you, you call them one of the phobics, or like an ist of some sort. You know what I mean? And you're good to go. You know? What's your name, dude? Adam? Fascist. Fascist Adam. Good luck going back to work on Monday, okay? You're done. There's so much dumb in this country. There's a lot of smart in this country, clearly, but there's a lot of dumb, too. Like, sometimes I feel like half of this country is running around like, oh, tap water's gonna turn us all gay. And then the other half of the country is like, well, maybe we should all be gay. And it's just a nightmare that I'm trapped in between. It's insane. And it's dangerous, it's contagious, dude. The dumb is contagious, it's contagious. You don't want to catch that stupid 19, dude. You don't want to catch it, dude. Because if you catch the dumb, if you get too dumb, you only have 2 possible outcomes. If you get too dumb, you either die from stupidity or you become president. That's it. That's it. Those are your 2 options. Y'all don't even know what president I'm talking about. That's crazy. You don't know. Am I talking about the old white guy or the older, whiter guy? You don't know. It's crazy. We're in a stupidity pandemic. I'll give you a couple examples, right? So I have a buddy of mine that I grew up with. Politically, we're a little bit different. Like, politically, he's very far left, and when it comes to politics, I'm non-binary. So but he believes in like crazy right? Like he thinks the news is always telling the truth. And like Joe Biden is still alive. Like crazy you know? Okay. All right. Well, now that's too much. All right, relax. This is a comedy show, not a rally, okay? We're here to laugh, not start a movement. You know what I mean? We're at a house party recently, and he comes up to me and he says this, word for word. This is how dumb things have gotten. He comes up to me and he's like, bro, honestly, dude, at this point, dude, if you haven't gotten the vaccine yet, dude, get your ass out the country, dude. Swear to God, bro, it's the only thing you can do to take care of your body, bro. Can you name one other thing, dude? I bet you can't, dude. I bet you can't name one other thing, dude. I bet you can't name one other thing you do, dude. I bet you can't name one other thing you can do to take care of your health, dude. Damn right, bro, because the only thing that you can do to take care of your health is to get the vaccine, dude. So which one did you get? Like, yo, relax. I'll give you another example of stupidity. The Washington Redskins changed their team name, right? They were the Redskins a couple years ago. They wanted to change the team name because it was cultural appropriation and offensive to a certain group of people, right? And I saw that, and I was like, cool, change it. Why would I care? I got hobbies, okay? You know what I mean? Somebody's upset, change your team name. Make it something cooler. You know what I mean? Did you see what they changed it to? The Washington Commanders, okay? So not the Redskins that got pillaged and murdered. They changed it to all the white did the pillaging and murdering, dude. That's crazy. They might as well change it to the Washington Christopher Columbus's. That's nuts. That's like the LA Lakers changing their team name to the LA LAPDs, okay? And making the new logo a freeway sign with 2 police batons in the middle. It's like every year there's some new dumbness that we gotta deal with, you know? But if you stay conscious about it, you can avoid it. That's the whole thing. You got to be conscious about the dumb, so you can avoid it. You know, I try to elevate my consciousness every year. I just celebrated a birthday recently. Was anybody else here born? Sir, you might have been hatched. We don't know. I'm hitting a spot in my life now where I can tell how old I am, like not even by the years though. Like the age doesn't matter. I can tell how old I am by the types of injuries I get when I wake up in the morning. You know what I mean? You got into that spot yet? I woke up a couple of weeks ago. I was sitting on the edge of my bed, right? First thing in the morning. I'm sitting right here, edge of my bed. I look left. I pulled my neck, right there. You ever hurt yourself looking in a direction? It'll make you question ever looking that way again, ever. Because for like a week after that, anytime someone would say, hey, Brent, I'd be like, what's up, dude? What's good, dog? We going out? Where do you want to go? This way, probably, right? It's pain.
Are you guys petty? I'm petty. But I'm also a little sweetie. But I'm also petty. Sometimes I can be petty mayonnaise, bitch. I was just thinking so fondly about the time that this flat earther told me that I was too young to understand why the earth is flat. But all I heard was, you're very young. And I was like, thank you, Flat Daddy. Say it again, baby, one more time. So young, Flat Daddy. You guys are like, Kyrie Irving called you young? No, but for real, do you think when Kyrie Irving looks at a basketball, he sees a frisbee? Just kidding. It actually wasn't Kyrie Irving who said that to me, if you can believe it. It was actually Mark Sargent, the leader of the Flat Earth movement, who said this to me during a live Comedy Central taping. This is true. All my bits are true, unlike other comedians. But I just love the idea of a flat earther telling me, a genius, why my brain is too limited to understand why the Earth is flat. I was like, Mark, ever heard of satellite photography? Mark? I don't see any pictures of frisbee planets. Mark? You think this shit is like the spinning coins in Mario Kart? Mark? And then I said what had to have been the quickest, most incredible off-the-cuff question in case any of you guys ever face off against a flat earther. I said, Mark. I said, Mark? I said, Mark! 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 Mark? If your theory is correct, how come not one person in the entire history of our good planet has ever walked off the edge of the earth? Mark? And then he said, no, you young girl. You young, fresh, supple, nubile, young, fresh, supple, nubile, young girl. There's an ice barrier. I was like, oh, ice barrier. That must be what happens to a woman's when they hear you say flat earth.
I grew up a little bit sheltered. I think I was one of those kids that played by myself. I had a big imagination. I grew up in Kentucky. I was around horses. I always wanted to be like a cowgirl, right? But my cousins always made fun of me because they were a lot more country than me. They said I was a city kid because I grew up on a cul-de-sac. And I will say, though, we had different childhoods. Okay, the biggest difference between a country kid and a city kid is the country kids, they grow up with farm animals, right? And they're a lot more exposed to the circle of life. Like city kids were a lot more sheltered. Like, when we have a pet, we put we'll put a little sweater on them. Oh, isn't that cute? Oh. And country kids, they put butter on theirs. And they eat it, okay? Country kids, they see death before breakfast. And then they have that death for breakfast. I remember even recently, I went to my cousin's farm that she's raising her 3 kids on, and I was talking to Knox, that's her oldest kid. He's 6. He's telling me how he's helping his daddy with the baby calves. And I was like, whoa, that's so cool, Knox. What are you doing? You helping feed bottles? And he goes, no, I gotta throw rocks at the buzzards. Because when the calves are born, the buzzards like to stroke around up top, and then they dive down and they peck the calves' eyeballs till they can't see no more, and then they can't nurse, and then after a few days they starve to death. Then the buzzards get to eat them for supper, so I got the rocks to the buzzards because Daddy says the government won't let us shoot the bastards. I was like, yeah, I get it. No, I did the same thing, man. When I was your age, I had to feed my gerbil, so. And one time it disappeared, and my mom was like, don't worry, you just gotta shed its winter coat. And sure enough, next day it reappeared, a whole new color. I had this like little brown boy gerbil. Next day, white girl rabbit. What's up? I'm telling you, these country people, they are so much more at ease with death. I even remember when I was 6 years old, my parents took me to the Kentucky State Horse Park for my birthday because I was obsessed with horses. You gotta go. It's in Lexington, Kentucky. There's horses you can pet. There's horses you're not allowed to pet, but you can look them in the eyes and cry. It's Disneyland for middle children. I I'm so excited. I'm 6, my birthday party, right? I'm standing outside the front of the park, and I'm looking at a statue of a famous racehorse named Man o' War. When all of a sudden this hillbilly fairy shows up out of a tobacco cloud. He looks like Tinker Bill, and he leans over and he goes, "Oh, Man o' War down there." And I was like, "Well, what?" And he goes, "Oh, Man o' War down there." And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend." And he goes, "No, the whole Man o' War is buried down there." He goes, "Usually when horses die, we gotta chop them up." And I was like, "Oh, I'm 6. I know I'm a big kid now, but this is day 1, so that's a lot to take in." And he just doubles down. He goes, "Usually we cut out the heart and hooves and just bury that. Represent spirit and the speed." And I was like, "Oh, did my mom hire you for the party?" I go, "What do you do with the unicorn?" He goes, "What?" I was like, "Well, the magic part." And he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have a girlfriend." And he